Hey guys, it's Smiley here. I hadn't shot a Tao Tao video in a while, and I'm heading out today to go do some long distance hiking. Been getting on the Greyhound and heading out to Arizona to do the Arizona Trail. And so before I got on the road this evening, I wanted to update everybody. It's been a while. And if you're one of my subscribers that follow my long hikes, then I'll be getting some videos uploaded in the next week. Starting the next week, I'll be uploading them as I hike. Scooter's been pretty good. I have 2 of them, and I've got 20,404 kilometers. The speedometer and odometer cable broke, and I rode it about a month, so there's actually quite a bit more mileage on this thing. You know, so I've definitely got my money. You get 12,500 miles on a $798 scooter, you know, tax, title, license, and everything, then I don't think you've done too bad there. I have had to work on it, and things like these things have a lot of little bitty quirks to them. But I've ran the gauntlet on this thing, man. Like my rack broke, the bracket, you know. So I just removed that, and I haul flyers, and I tended to put a little bit, probably more weight than what I should have in the little box that come with it. So I've just removed it. I now use saddlebags, and that works for me. But one of the biggest things I wanted to talk to you guys about was this winter and last winter, I've always had problems with cold starts. And people that don't do the big bore kits have also had problems, even, you know, more so when you put that 80cc big bore kit on there, it's turning a larger piston. So I've kind of resolved the issue. I'll still have a little click, and then it'll turn over. It turns over a lot better. I used to have to wait till it would warm up and warm up and get above freezing to start the scooter just to go to work. This is the battery that comes with it. It's a ES4 LBS. With one size larger, although I'll show you what I did here. I just got the mat, you know, I just have it snapped, but I've already just got to remove it, so I can yank it off here and show you guys. So this is a little bit taller battery than that one up there, and you can see it says just almost, maybe just a hair taller than sticking up there. So I can't put the cover, plastic cover on there. But this, you know, with the mat on there, I haven't had any problems, and being able to just start it up and able to go to work, you know, when it's cold. Because I put my jacket on, and I work when it's a little cold sometimes, you know, outside. And I've been able to get up and get to work, you know, with that particular battery. Like I say, that's the ES5 LBS. So for you guys having cold starts, that's, you know, you might want to maybe think about doing that. You know, and I also found that these stock batteries are only good for about, seems like 3-4, you get 5 months out of one, and this one's lasted me, I've had it on there for well, I put it on there about last fall, and it's taken me all the way through the winter. So, you know, and you could actually go back to the smaller battery if you wanted to in the summertime. They just fire right up in the summer. It's warm, and the oils, you know, the oil has it, you know, warmed up, so that also makes it a little harder to start, that and the larger piston. But you know, guys, I can't complain. I've got a few. You know, like I've had headlights pop on these things. I started running Phillips a little bit better. You know, headlamps and the Tao Tao bulbs seem like they just don't last any time, and I haven't had too many issues going with better bulbs. And I do have to put a belt on here, like it seems like every couple of thousand miles. So I keep a belt and impact wrench underneath the seat here, you know, so I can just, you know, zap it on there. It takes me about 15 minutes, and that's an easy fix. But if you don't have an impact and a belt on you, somebody's got to come get you. You know, you got to go get the parts and go all the way back. So 15 minutes later, I'm rolling again. So that works for me. Might be something if you're having belt issues. I tried Kevlar belts for a while, but I found they didn't really last too much longer than the little cheap $10, you know, little Chinese belts. So, you know, so I just run the cheap ones now and keep 1 or 2 of them underneath the seat. But that's pretty much going on, guys. You know, I know these things get a bad rap, so that's why every now and then I try to update everybody. I parted my other one out because the big bore, I couldn't get the valve clearance right, and then I would have had to figure out what was going on with the fuel. I tore it apart. I knew it wasn't the engine, you know, because the rod was intact, rings looked good, you know. It was just, you know, something else. So it was a learning experience, and I've heard from some mechanics that the 100cc's can overheat. So you know, and I was also worried with a 100cc. Yeah, I would have probably been able to run like 50 miles an hour, but would it be able to be started in the wintertime? You know, cold starts might have been even worse, you know, or more of an issue with a 100cc. But yeah, it would have been nice to go a little bit faster, you know. Um, but you know, these are, I think the Chinese scooters, I drive a lot, so I tend to, you know, have to work on it every now and then. But for somebody that's just going like, I don't know, 1.5 miles down the road here and they work around the corner, you know, I think these are good. Just drive them and don't let them sit up. Really, any scooter, whether it's a Honda or Tao Tao or what have you, you know, I think that's one of the biggest things that lead up to these things not wanting to, you know, run anymore. So like I say, I just wanted to show that, you know, these things can be driven for, you know, I've had this one for 2 years and I've gotten even my money's worth out of the other one between the miles on it that I put on it and all the parts. I hit a curb on the black one, and so I bent both rims. So I bought this tire and rim off eBay for $65 with the shipping included. The valve stem, it has a little bit of a leak. So I actually had to put a tire before that happened, and before I bought this one, I had went down and had a new tire. And of course, I told him right off the bat, you always want to get a little bit better, higher quality valve stem. He even recommended. I'd already heard about it, and so but it was $118 to you know, to put a tire. It was the labor, then there's disposal, and then there's the valve stem was 10. And so I was like, wow, that's, you know. So sometimes you can get on eBay and get you you know, a tire and rim far cheaper than you know, going down to the tire shop. And if you have one that you've parted out and you've got a tire and rim, you know, also if you have a flat and you have a second one, I have plugged these right on the spot with a plug kit. I actually had to walk down to AutoZone and get some Fix-A-Flat, and I found that plugging it, that actually the foam bubbled out, so I knew right where the leak was at. It's not recommending you plug these things, but I was, you know, on the side of the road, so I done that. That's just a quick fix until I can, you know, get a tire put on it later. I think I've only had two flats on these things, both of my scooters over. I've got probably, I don't know, somewhere probably about 16,000 miles on between the both of them, maybe a little more, the black one and the orange one, and the majority of it on here. So I have had a little bit of a issue with my front forks here. They're leaking a little bit of the oil, or, you know, they've gotten a little soft. So, but like I say, I've got a lot of miles on it, and I had some headlight issues, but I just use Phillips now. And so if you have any questions when I'm have Wi-Fi, I'll try to answer any Tao Tao questions. Somebody had asked me about the big bore kit, and I did want to address that if I'd had any problems when you know, I was talking about I was going to put one on there, and I did, and yes, I did have some issues. So I think for myself, I'll definitely stick with the 80s. I put the 5-gram sliders on there, and that also helps me with a little takeoff speed and climbing hills with that, you know, with that big bore kit. And this one has a little bit better carburetor, a Kian, or I guess that's how you pronounce it, a Kian carburetor. But I found it really didn't make too much of a difference on the carburetor. You want these things to go a little faster. The 5-gram sliders are probably the first thing I do to it. And if you have the money and time, you know, or have a shop do it, the big bore kit is what really is going to make it really go. And so that's what's going on, guys. Thanks for watching. Again, if you have any questions, I'll try to reply to them as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.